Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's
the Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on KDUS AM 1060 Phoenix. As always, I'm your host Mason Kern, joining you every Sunday, and I've got another great episode on tap for you guys today. Lots of basketball content coming your way. We're going to dive right in to our interview portion of the show. First, you're not going to want to miss the two guests we have on the line today, so really exciting stuff. I'll hit you with some happenings on the hardwood commentary as well as usual, so let's get started, yeah?
Feeling lucky? Be sure to visit @LuxListReviews on Instagram for a chance to win a $770 Swagtron EB7 Plus folding electric bike for free. The upgrade from Swagtron's most popular model. It still features a compact folding design and powerful 350-watt motor, but adds Shimano gears to climb hills easier and a bigger battery enabling 20 miles per charge without pedaling. It's fast, up to 18.6 miles per hour, and comes in this limited edition orange. Enter to win on Instagram @LuxListReviews.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host Mason Kern, and joining us now is Derek Anderson, a former NBA and NCAA champion turned author and life speaker. Derek won the NCAA championship playing for Kentucky in 1996, and he was selected 13th overall in the 1997 NBA draft by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He would then go on to win the coveted Larry O'Brien Trophy with the Miami Heat in 2006. And now Derek's here on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. Derek, thanks so much for joining us, man. Glad you can make it.
No problem, man.
Really appreciate you taking the time. And first off, I always like to ask athletes just kind of how they got their start in the sport they played. So for you, what's kind of your backstory with basketball?
Well, it was kind of weird. I got my dad had left our house at an apartment when I was 10 years old, and I came home at 11, almost 12 years old, to an empty apartment, and my mom was on drugs, and she just left me in an empty apartment. So I was like, so what do I do? And, you know, at that age, you just kind of walked around the neighborhood, asked people for help, spent the night over other people's house. Then I went to a basketball court, and I just started picking it up. Like, I had never really played it, just picked it up, played it, and then I would stay out there all night. I had, like, flat balls, couldn't dribble or anything, and I would just stay out there just playing around by myself. I fell asleep a couple times in the neighborhood park. Woke up the next day, I was starving, but, you know, I knew I had to figure out something. And I just gravitated to basketball, and it just kind of pulled me that way. And so when I didn't go to school and I wasn't working like Winn-Dixie, carrying people's bags for money and whatnot, I just went to the basketball court. So I basically would stay there all day. And it just became a part of who I was, and that was my livelihood. And as I got older, and my Uncle George let me stay with him, and I got kind of get my body nourished when I grew to like 6'6", and
wow,
basically that was my life. It pulled me to it. Life made me go to it, and I embraced it.
Right, yeah, and I mean, definitely, I mean, through that process then, I mean, lots of adversity. So for you, as you kind of like reflect on it, how do you think all of these obstacles and all of this adversity kind of shaped you into who you've become kind of today?
Oh, it was a big part of it. Like, I didn't get a technical in 11 years at the NBA, and it was because I learned to control my temper, control my emotions. I just focused solely on just doing the right things, and I had to do that as a kid. So when you're a kid learning to control your emotions, you get older, it became easier. It became the habits that I've created. So I never was one of those guys that just would blow up just because I wasn't happy. There was plenty of times I wasn't happy. Right. But I knew I had to control my emotions, and it played a huge part of my life.
Right, and for you, I mean, because some people, if they were faced kind of with that situation 10, 11, 12 years old, they might gravitate towards some bad habits, gravitate towards some bad people. I mean, you went toward basketball, and you were able to kind of get on the right track and stay kind of true to yourself. So for you, how are you just able to do that and kind of remain positive just throughout your livelihood?
Well, I think it was also the people had around me. Like, my school teachers, when we were growing up, they were motivating. They weren't the kid. Like, if I fell asleep on the table on my desk, a teacher would come and say, hey, son, you're better than this. You know, stay awake, and I think you're good enough, and I'll help you if you need it. Like, that's motivation instead of, hey, you're asleep, go to study, go to after-school suspension. Like, they didn't punish you. They talked to you. They worked with you. They tried to help you. And that motivated me, and those are the people I still look up to this day as, like, school teachers. They were there to make me feel better, you know, because I was with the school system from in the mornings to like 2:30, and then you had basketball for another 2 hours. So I was in the school system like 6 to 8 hours a day.
Right.
And that became the people that I kind of admired. Then my neighborhood people gave me jobs and helped me out. My friends, we didn't have a lot of money, but everybody had each other. And I think that was a difference in the 80s and early 90s. We had each other. No one cared about what clothes you had or shoes or anything. We just cared about helping each other and living. So those people I credit to, and I listened. Like, a lot of these kids won't listen. Like, you don't have to tell me twice that if you do something wrong, you're going to get in trouble. Like, I never drank, never smoked, never did drugs, never sold them. I just stayed focused on doing the right things, and the right things happened to me.
Right, yeah. I mean, definitely rewarded for just that kind of lifestyle that you cultivated for yourself. And then for you, how does that kind of childhood and then growing up, you gravitate toward basketball, you start picking it up, you get better, obviously, and then how does that lead you then to Kentucky, playing college basketball?
Well, it was crazy. I grew up a University of Louisville fan in our neighborhood, and I was going to. I didn't think about college until they started offering me scholarships. Like, I just wanted to get a job. My plan was to get a job and take care of my family. And when I came my senior year, they offered me a scholarship at University of Louisville, but he didn't tell me if he was going to redshirt me and some other guys, so he didn't respond quick enough. And I went to Ohio State first. Then I tore my ACL up, and they were going on probation, so I said I'm going to sit out. And I went to the University of Kentucky after 2 years at Ohio State. And it just so happened I got healthy, won a national championship, went on to the NBA. So it worked out. Adversity hits me a lot, but I think because of when I was a kid, I've learned to deal with it and face it head on. Like, it's just a part of who I am.
Right, yeah. I mean, that definitely, shapes kind of the person you become, and then just having all that success now just in your career. I mean, as you look back, I'm sure that's definitely really rewarding. And then as it is, obviously, March Madness, we're in March. As a player who played through it and then got to the pinnacle of the sport, wins the national championship, just what is the mindset of just these players right now as they're trying to make their tournament runs?
Well, I think the good teams, you'll see that they play hard all the time. I don't think you'll see one of those games where they're up and down. Like, some of these teams who've lost and they're struggling, they're playing too up and down. Where when we played, we just played hard. Like, if you watch a team and you see them, if they're playing the number 16 seed and then they're playing the number 3 seed, you'll see how hard they play. That's a team that's destined to win. And that's the way we play. We just played extremely hard because you're going to be nervous. It's a natural feeling. It's the biggest stage in college basketball. So you can't say you're not nervous. You've never seen that before. It was my first time, and it was a lot of the guys' first time, but we just said, play hard, play together, and it'll take care of itself. So we had to focus on stop being nervous and just play the way we've been playing all year, and that's how we was able to dominate teams.
Right, yeah, and obviously that led to a national championship victory, so definitely a good mindset to have in your guys' locker room. And then for you, because playing college basketball back in when you played, it's different from today's game. So how much would you say the game has changed just from the time you played to the current game of basketball?
Well, it's totally changed. It's changed in a direction that I might not like because I played in a different era.
Right.
But I don't disown it, or anything like that. I just think it's just different. A lot of referees are really good, but then there's some of them who don't know the game. Some of the players don't value the game. They don't value this. So there's little things you can see, but it's still the college basketball and the passion I see. I love it. Like, that's the best time of the year right now, to see the passion from these young guys who really love the game of basketball. They're not worrying about the NBA, not worrying about being seen. They're just giving you everything they got, and it's great to watch that.
Right, yeah. That's why so many people love, college basketball even more so than the NBA at times, just because it seems the passion these kids play with. Exactly. And then after that national championship season in college, you really raise your draft stock to become a lottery pick for the Cavaliers. So what was just that draft process like for you, coming just from the adversity that you came from in your past?
Well, another adversity hit me. I tore my other ACL up my senior year, averaging 20 points, and I tore it in the middle of the season. So I was hit with another phase of adversity. And I stayed positive through that. I worked out every morning at 6 in the morning before everybody got up, did my rehab, went to study hall, and did that every day until I got healthy again enough to play. And it wasn't stressful because I said I had been through the worst. To me, I was like, I didn't seen it all. Nothing else could bother me at that point. And it became another blanket. And I was like, I just do what I do. I have a good smile on my face, good character, and go have fun. I had fun. They saw that I was healthy and I played hard. They were like, well, hey, we're going to take a chance on you. I don't know if I would have did it with 2 ACLs, but they did it. And I think, again, that's because of your character, how hard you play, how people perceive you. And I think that was a great thing that I stayed focused to.
Right, and I mean, like you say, 2 ACL injuries. For a lot of players, I feel like that would be a big kind of hindrance and maybe lead their career to not be as long as they would have liked. But I mean, you get drafted in 1997, you win a championship in 2006, and we'll get to that a little later. But how are you just able to kind of be healthy, stay healthy, in order to have a pretty a career with some longevity?
Well, it's called learning who you are as a person. Learning yourself, learning your body. Like, I never drank, never smoked, I never had Coke or Pepsi in my life. So what I decided to do was like, well, how can I stay healthy? So I started stretching. I started eating. My diets were always good, and just stayed in rehab. And then I didn't lift a lot of weights. I did a lot of rehab the rest of my career. That's how my knees stayed healthy. And I was like, well, if I'm rehabbing, getting back, why don't I just do this all the time? I stayed in the swimming pool, kept the swelling down, and it just worked for me. I just watched my body, watched my intake. I always rested. So I was always doing the things that was necessary that I've learned from, like, Michael Jordan when I was around him, just watching how certain guys handle their body. And I did that in the last 11 years, and it was a great, great, great time of doing that because I got to know myself now, and I'm still in good shape because of the way I practice good habits. So
Right, yeah.
it's tough. It's tough discipline if you're not used to it.
Right, yeah,
You
I was going to
You got to
say.
get a routine.
Right, yeah, because for a lot of these kids, I'm sure coming up, just that transition from maybe a college athlete then to the pros where, hey, you're getting paid, this is your job to play basketball, just kind of what is that transition like? And then in terms of just staying disciplined enough to have a long enough career.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. That's 800-605-4650.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. Joining us now is Monique Billings of the WNBA's Atlanta Dream. We have so much to talk about. Really excited to get into life as a female athlete overall, life as a WNBA player, life as a professional athlete. It's going to be really exciting. So Monique, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. It's actually a game day, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm feeling good.
Well, yeah, we love to hear that little interview pre-game day. Just when it is game day, what do you have any like pre-game rituals or anything that you kind of do before every game to get yourself prepared?
Every game day, I have to have some good food. I like to cook, so I usually cook up like a good brunch after shoot-around, talk to my family, and really just do nothing. I like to just chill, relax, clear my mind, just chill.
That's smart, yeah. Do you still get, I've always wondered this, as a professional athlete, when it is game day, do you still kind of get those pre-game jitters, a little nerves at first, and then do they go away, or at this point do you just not get them at all?
It comes and goes. Lately it's been coming, but I think that's a good thing. I'm just excited. So they're there sometimes, and I do a good job of managing it, and it's just like little butterflies. They go away.
Right, yeah. That's really important. And I'm sure just chilling out a little bit before the game really helps with that too, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I understand that you actually played overseas this past summer, so how was that experience, and what was that kind of like?
Yeah, so I played in 3 different countries, which is super rare. I was really blessed to be able to play in China for 4 months. I played in South Korea for 6 weeks, and Lebanon for 2 weeks. And so every place was a culture shock because they're all so different, but
right.
I was able to manage really well. I had some really great people around me who were able to help me through my journey, and I learned a few different languages, actually, so I was really grateful for my experience.
Right, yeah, I'm sure. Like you say, that culture shock, you kind of have such a brief stint in all these different places. I'm sure it's pretty cool to be able to see all these different cultures while also playing the game you love at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
So what were, I guess, kind of some of the biggest takeaways then from the overseas experience now back in the WNBA, kind of the differences there?
I would say, I think all the countries that I went to and played in, they had such a big fan base. And women's basketball is really important. And as we're trying to grow the popularity of women's basketball in the United States, it was kind of like inspiring, I hope we can get to this point one day, because the fans out there, they were so supportive and really just loved the sport. And another takeaway, I'm thankful for the options of food that I have here in the United States. I never want to take that for granted, just because I can go anywhere. In the United States, we have the luxury to go eat anywhere we want to. I feel like having Mexican food tonight or soul food tomorrow.
Right.
Overseas, it's very limited.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely, such a big difference for sure. And pretty humbling, I'm sure too, just playing overseas and then kind of coming back and realizing all those differences. I'm sure that's definitely helped. Now, for you, like I'm always interested in professional athletes, kind of their backstory and kind of how they got their start in the sport that they chose. So for you, what's kind of just your backstory with basketball? How did you start, and then how did it develop into now, obviously, WNBA player?
Right. So my dad, he originally got me playing basketball. He got me started, and I was around maybe 5, 6 years old, and he just asked me one day, like, do you want to play basketball? And I was like, no, not really. Like, I was super girly, only wore dresses, but I wanted to make him happy, so I tried it, and I loved it, and I never looked back. So I've been playing forever, and it's been an amazing journey. I've met so many amazing people, and as I reflect on it, I'm so glad he asked me if I wanted to play, because I don't think I would have just went out and did it myself.
Right, yeah, I mean, that influence for sure. I mean, that moment really has led to your entire career choice at this point, so definitely pretty cool there for sure. And when you come back, you have this experience overseas playing basketball outside of the United States. Now, when you're back in the United States playing back in the WNBA, is the level of competition kind of the same? Is it more difficult? Is it hard to kind of assimilate back into the WNBA?
I wouldn't say it's hard to simulate back, but I had definitely had to break a few old habits, or bad habits, I should say, that I picked up overseas that I could get away with. Here, it's like you're playing against the best every single night, so you always have to bring your A game, and you just really have to stay ready.
Right, yeah, for sure. And you mentioned just the kind of fan experience and the turnout overseas, and obviously there's been so much talk here of getting more interest in women's sports in general overall, especially in women's basketball as well. So how do you, if any, how do you just kind of try and approach that of gaining more kind of fan interest?
I think a great way to get fan interest is just kind of showing who we are off the court as well as on the court. I think once people understand our passion for the game and just the things that we go through to achieve where we are, I think a lot of people will respect us a lot more. So just kind of giving insight into my life and sharing about my experiences. And then for me, I want to inspire and empower the younger generation, young girls, young women who are looking up to me, as I used to look up to my competitors now. I want to be an example for them and just show them that you don't have to be in a box to be a basketball player. You can be girly and feminine and totally be a beast on the court. You know, you're able to do the two. So I think just giving insight about that and just showing who we really are as people, not just as basketball players.
Where can our guests go to get more information or just contact you?
So on my social media is my name, Monique Billings. Instagram is Monique.Billings, Twitter, Monique Billings, YouTube, Monique Billings. Make sure y'all follow me. Show some love.
There you go, guys. Check out all the social media. Hit her up. Monique, once again, good luck in your game tonight. And we'll hopefully have you back on. All right, everyone, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. We'll be right back after.
If you're looking for a memorable dining experience in town, head to Different Point of View Restaurant at the Tapatio Cliffs Hilton. Poised 1,800 feet above Phoenix, it offers breathtaking views complementing the outstanding regional American cuisine led by Chef Anthony DeMiro. The restaurant's mountaintop location and floor-to-ceiling windows provide striking views of the desert mountain landscape, the city's twinkling lights, and the Arizona's bold and colorful sunsets. Whether dining al fresco or in the cool, elegant dining room, every seat in the house assures spectacular views. Learn more about Different Point of View Restaurant at TapatioCliffsHilton.com.
You ready to hoop it up?
This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @sportswatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at the Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
The Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog Ace and Kern.